Hey everybody, it's Mary and Rich and Matthew. Say hey Matthew.
Hey.
And Rich.
Hi.
And we are on our way back, had an unbelievably wonderful, lots of exercise, lots of rest, wonderful time with my brother Tim, who is a pretty avid fly fisherman, and decided he was going to share that with us. It was an unbelievable treat. So we were away for the last couple of days, kayaking and fishing and just being in the great outdoors. It wasn't the best fishing weather, but it was fantastic tourist weather because it was sunny. Fish don't really like the sun very much. They like the rain and the cold. So anyway, we loved it. My sister, her kids, one of my nieces, our eldest niece, Sarah, who's my godchild, she flew up from Florida. So just a wonderful time. And I'm now on my way back to you, Virginia. So I wanted to say a couple of things to you. And I got afraid that at 8:30 p.m. I might be in the worst cell zone. We're on the Eastern Shore right now, beautiful Eastern Shore heading south. We're about 100 miles away from Virginia Beach. But anyway, so first of all, congratulations. Oh my goodness. When I hatched this idea of sponsoring, paying for the pre-licensing day with Susan, you know, I went out on a financial limb, of course, because I thought that might help, you know, one or two or three people actually make this thing happen now versus later. And, you know, I began to think through that and got really committed to the idea that we do things in bunches really, really well. Recruiting in bunches and sales in bunches, you know, everything has a wax and a wane, a rhythm to it. And I was in serious building mode. Like, I am 100% committed that what you and I do at Five Rings is something that can change people's lives. No question about it. It can change people's lives with the products we provide for them. It can change people's lives with the way they're treated here. And the most significant really is the opportunity to work here, that people who from all sorts of different backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, every accent, every size, shape, background, etc., have the potential, if they have excellent integrity, the desire to help people, want to belong to something great, that they can do fantastic here at Five Rings. So, you know, I'm committed. I mean, I live that, and it just turned out pretty awesome that we had 38 people in this pre-licensing class. 38 people! 38 people! I think the most we'd had in a pre-licensing class with Susan at once was 8 before, possibly 9. So we are revolutionizing our own business, and we're revolutionizing our ability to do things for other people, which is great. So I just wanted to thank each of you who took that on so powerfully. In particular, I want to acknowledge Michelle Ewing, who had 6 people in that class. Really fantastic job. And Angie Utter-Gochi, who had 12, a dozen. That's like a dozen donuts, a dozen bagels. Who does a dozen? Angie does a dozen. So can you imagine, you know, I felt very supported by all of you inviting and having people participate in that class. You know, some folks did it as a reminder, people who had taken the class before and never went through and took the test, but many people had said they might want to be a power partner or an agent or in some capacity start working with us. This created the opportunity for that to happen. So just really congratulations to each and every one of you who represented there. That was amazing. And now the work begins on a whole new level. So let's see. Here, you can check out the Tyson factory. Yeah, there you go. There's a lot of chickens in there. When I was a kid and we would drive from New Jersey to the Eastern Shore, that was like one of our highlights. A lot of green and chicken farms. Lots of chicken farms. Anyway, we've got room for lots of leadership at Five Rings. You know, leadership around here is really serving people and supporting each other. That's a really big deal to me, and I'm really proud of each and every one of you who I invited to be on this call, because I think you're exhibiting that in the ways that make all the difference. You know, some of you are working full force and full time, and some of you are working committedly part-time. Whatever that looks like, it's great for me. And I just appreciate how many of you are in communication with me and keeping me informed about what's going on, and asking for what you need, although you're not too needy, I have to say. But I do want to set up a schedule for the future here and talk a little bit about what's next and what makes sense. So we have, let's go backwards. We've got, jump forward and then we'll look backward. Jump forward to Denver, Colorado, the first weekend of December. That's National Training Camp. So I want each and every one of you to think about not only getting yourself there, but who else do you want to have there with you? Seriously. And then who else would they want to have with them? Seriously. See, if we don't start to plant those seeds now and fertilize that kind of thinking, it'll be like, oh, I wish I could, but I didn't know about it. I didn't think about it. I can't tell you the number of people who have come to work with us. My invitation looks something like, I just want to plant a seed with you today because I know that this may grow and have an opportunity to do. And like later, 2, 3, 6, 9 months later, something really fantastic happened there. But I was bold enough to plant the seed before I knew for sure that it was fertile ground. But I had a good feeling, people of character, people of integrity, people of enthusiasm, people of frustration, right? People in a position where their leadership is undermined or their abilities are not being given a chance to flourish at their current organization, or people who just need to make more money. That's a very, very big deal. And every penny, every nickel, every dime, every quarter, every dollar that you make at Five Rings, it's good for you, but we know it's 100 times more powerful for our clients. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna go full force with TNTs. We'll take off the very last week of August. We have a couple of amazing opportunities to have Money 101. So if you are in the Virginia Beach area, you have plenty of opportunities. July 22nd, July 24th during the day, and then there will be a couple of more opportunities in the evening. Plus, Mike Wilk will be here in Virginia Beach on August 19th. So any of you who want to come to town, we can certainly create August 19th as a team powwow and retreat if you'd like to do that. TNT is going to be super duper powerful every single week. We will take off again the last weekend of August right before Labor Day and hit the ground running. We're going to schedule training days in our Virginia Beach offices in the fall, probably the end of September. We'll have an all-day Saturday event. We're looking at those dates, so mark your calendars. And of course, we have Wine, Women, and Wealth like crazy. I will tell you, we need more. If we want to grow the way we want to grow, and we want to create the environment where other leaders feel like they have room to be here, we all need to encourage other people to lead here. And that, for some of you, is going to be a little tricky because you feel like you have to do everything first, and then you can lead them. But please don't wait for that. You may be at a certain place in your journey, but we can help anybody get to where they need to go. One of my greatest and most favorite stories is really when Angie came on board. Heather and I knew Angie was going to be a powerhouse and do a phenomenal job inviting at Wine, Women, and Wealth. And at that time, we were having Wine, Women, and Wealth a couple locations, but our biggest location was in Virginia Beach at Simply Fresh. And we would have a packed house every night. So Angie said, I love this, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to fit all my guests here. So she invited, and sure enough, we were wall to wall every time. So by necessity, Angie had to launch another Wine, Women, and Wealth in Virginia Beach. And she ended up doing it with women, 8 to 12 women for the first couple sessions, and then it got as big as 20 or 25 women and kind of grew and moved on, and just one of those things. So we want to, when we're starting events and encouraging each other, we want to make sure Wine, Women, and Wealth is something where people can support each other, work in a team environment, but also have the opportunity to have as much space as they want, to have as many guests as they'd like to have. So maybe that makes sense to some of you because you're thinking about that right now. But it's my personal goal that before we hit Denver for National Training Camp, that we've had 5 new leaders really step up and champion Wine, Women, and Wealth. Not a Wine, Women, and Wealth with 2 or 3 guests, although that's a great little start, but really learning how to grow and promote and have a lot of people there. So that's one of my goals, and if that resonates with yours, I want you to let me know. I hope that you'll all plug in to TNT on Thursday night. I have been thinking about if we should Zoom that to our Richmond and Northern Virginia and Hayside offices for the people who are super duper serious there. There's an emerging, amazing training center in Hayside, Virginia. And you'll hear more about that. But there's, if you could bring your folks together out of area to watch together, that would be great. So I'd like to hear about that. And then this Thursday in particular, Lee Nordine from Denver is actually doing a life training, and it's going to have a lot to do with generating prospects and building and creating. And Lee is like Mr. Old School, been around forever, most generous guy. And he is one of the best trainers in the company, a little different style than maybe you're used to. And I promise there's a whole lot that you can learn from Lee. So 7 p.m. our time, we're going to plug in from Virginia Beach TNT and listen to Lee together. So we'll be together 6 to 7, watch Lee together from 7 to 8, and spend some time together. Anyway, I really wanted to say thank you for helping to generate this company and to generate your company, because I know that each of you who work so hard to have people in that class, there will be no one more rewarded for that than you. And it's not just for the money that's going to be made with these folks, helping them get up to speed and helping everything happen. It's really about the lives that we're changing and the benefits that we are giving to these fantastic people. And really nobody else is talking about it. Nobody else is doing it. When Heather and I first met Mike, we really both thought that every single agency in Virginia Beach was going to add the kinds of products that we were now learning about. And strange enough, they haven't all these years later. So we have an opportunity and really truly a responsibility. So a couple of reality checks for us. One is that we've had many living benefits cases now. You know, out of the millions of policies, right, it's only a few, but they're pretty significant in our world. And I had the opportunity, as many of you know, to help to deliver the news to our clients out west in Western Virginia that we would be delivering a $255,000 check on a living benefits claim for them. You know, talk about blowing your mind. Changed their lives forever, and I think it changed all of ours, actually. Today, just a few hours ago, I got a text from one of our trusted partners, the fabulous John Rooney, with the beautiful voice also, that one of our clients has a claim to make from a pretty serious diagnosis. So, you know, it's just a matter of time. And, you know, for those people who choose to talk with us and for those people that we are effective in reaching, we're going to be able to maybe make a really big difference for them. So anyway, I want to get super duper organized about what's next. If you had people at that class, absolutely. Oh, that was a text from a friend of a friend saying, my friend wants to learn about what you do. Isn't that awesome? Woohoo! Get super duper organized about what's next for us in terms of the A, B's, and C's of it. So number one, if you had people in that class, please encourage them to get that license test done within the next 20 days. You know, I'd call them and check in. Hey, did you get registered yet for your test? What day are you doing it? How can I support you? It is really you as the front line to encourage them to get that done, because, you know, given a choice, most people will procrastinate. Number two, you want to remind them that they have to get a criminal background check done, and that's a very big deal. It's very simple to do, but it's a big deal. If they don't do it, it'll slow everything down. So let's enjoy this momentum here. And then we will be doing a couple of Saturday trainings. I believe the dates will be the 27th of July in the office. Right now it looks like from 9 until 12. It'll be a little bit of an orientation. It'll be some really high-level training and overview from the top leaders, and then we'll drill down on some of the real fundamentals about turning this opportunity into financial success, helping people, and how to do that most effectively and most simply. So July 27th, Saturday at the office. Welcome any of you to be there, and maybe we can Zoom it if if you have an interest, but we just can't do it at the last minute. And then the second Saturday of August is our second Saturday training, and that will be an orientation and training. So, keep gathering your people. Mike talks about that all the time. You gather a crowd, you gather a crowd, you gather a crowd, and keep meeting, keep inviting, keep getting better and better at speaking the vision about what we're up to at Five Rings Financial, because your speaking is the voice that can change lives. I say this all the time. It would be very easy to, on one level, maybe not simple, but it would be very easy to run a $100,000 organization out of my office, just me, maybe a helper, writing policies and changing people's lives that way and doing a little bit of that here and there, and we could be pretty successful at it. But what I recognize is the need is so huge across the country, and so few people understand who we are and what we have, that we really have a responsibility to get out there and make sure that other people who want to hear about this have a chance. And that's why we need you, and that's why you need other people to help us get the message out. So we're looking for integrity, we're looking for enthusiasm, we're looking for a burning desire, we're looking for people who want to win again. Of course they're going to be paid, rewarded financially, but if they can set a great goal, if they can stay focused, and if they can follow a leader. We don't want a whole bunch of followers, but in the beginning, we ask you to, maybe for your first 15 or 20 cases, maybe for your first year, maybe even your first 2 years, a little bit of please spare us your brilliance, just a little bit. We want the best of you. And those of us who've been around for a while, we have really skinned our knees, and we don't want you to have to go through that pain that we did. So ask, how can I help? What can I do better? And we'll tell you. Bottom line is, he or she who invites the most people makes the most money. And we know if you make the most money, you've made a really tremendous difference. So keep networking, keep inviting. If you ever get into a lull, take a breather and get reinvigorated about what excites you about Five Rings Financial. Of course, the money's great, but I know it's not all about the money. People do not follow, how do I want to say this? People don't have a cause-driven, purpose-driven life just about the money. They have it about something that's bigger than themselves, something that is inside themselves, something that they know they have to do, a difference they have to make. And so maybe you're here for that too. So 280 million people in this country need you. How many of them can you help? As many as you want. So use your strengths, your skills, the things that are great about you, your accent, your background, your connections, your community. Connect with all that the way you want to, and make sure that people know that we have this amazing opportunity to work, and we have these fantastic ways to preserve their hard-earned savings, if that's something they're interested in doing, and also to give them the very, very best insulation and protection for their portfolio that anybody can, and that's this Living Benefits. So anyway, that's about all I have to say. There will be if you look on 5rworkshops.com, there'll be events and set up for the Saturdays that we're talking about, the TNTs that we're talking about. But if you have any questions at any point about how you can do more, do better, or stay as much on track as you'd like to, please do not hesitate to text me. I do not have all the answers, but I promise I'll be a great mirror for you to figure out what it is that you want to do with this opportunity at Five Rings Financial. And I truly believe that there isn't one person that's on this call today that can't turn it up and make $100,000 in the next 12 months and maybe help 12 other people begin that journey too. See, my dream used to be about me not sweating money anymore. I'm getting close to that one. But what's really exciting for me is to help as many people as possible not worry about money anymore. So if you're inspired by helping people and not just your own paycheck, this is the place for you. Love you guys very much. Thanks again. And let me know how your candidates are doing with their studying and their test taking. We're going to celebrate every single one of those at the TNT that we can. And if they're out of the area, we'll still celebrate them on TNT. We'll have to make a plan. Thanks for spending this 20 minutes with me. I'm sorry it was kind of boring, but anyway, here's some pretty view for the rest of the ride. Some beautiful Eastern Shore. All right. Love you all very much. God bless y'all. Bye.